Alright, hey guys, and welcome back. As this week I'm going to be taking a look at a more modern action figure this week, and that is the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Red Sun Superman. And this just came out this year. Some of you may have seen it in late 2020, but it's pretty much a 2021 release. And if you don't know what Red Sun Superman is, or you don't know anything about it, there's an alternate multiverse where Superman was born in Russia, and like Stalin and the Russian government like use him as a tool, and he thinks that he believes in like the Russian and communist values instead of believing in like American values and like democracy and stuff like that. So it's kind of a cool look at like, well, what if Superman had grown up in Russia? Like, would we still view him as a hero? Because that would be the environment that he grew up in. And it's a really cool storyline. There's an animated movie about that, so I definitely recommend that you guys, go and check that out. It's fantastic. I believe there's a full-length comic book adaptation of it as well. It's one of my absolute favorites, and it's so creative. Taking the Man of Steel, into a completely another direction that you would never think of. So first off, let's take a look at the box. You have some really nice artwork, which you can kind of see in the background, which has like different superheroes and like buildings and stuff. We'll take a closer look at that a little bit later on, but just some different comic art in the back. I would imagine that's just, Superman destroying buildings, getting into a fight. I would hope that it's Superman related. I haven't taken that out to take a look at it yet. You have Superman in this flying pose. He has the USSR symbol on his chest, which is very strange, but it looks really awesome on this figure. He has a much more serious face than we've seen before. He's got a couple of extra hands. There's a stand in there as well, and there's quite a few of these figures in this line. Check that out, that awesome backdrop with Superman and the Russian logo. And then you have a whole bunch of other ones in this series. Let's see, the other ones that you have. Oh, I don't know if I can be able to read them. They're so small. Looks like you have Batman. Oh, you have the Bat Who Laughs. Another Superman, Deathstroke. Batman, The Dark Knight. I really cannot read that. That is so freaking small. But there's a whole bunch of other ones. So if you're interested in them, they're pretty easily and readily able to be found at most Targets and stuff like that. I don't know if they're popping up anywhere else, maybe FYE and stuff like that. So they're pretty easy to find. They're not too expensive. They range around $20. I'm not too interested in too many more of the figures, just because I think a lot of the DC stuff is kind of generic, but this is like really unusual, really different. So there are a few figures that I'm going to be collecting for this series, but not too many. So anyway, with that out of the way, let's get this opened up and let's take a look at the figure. Alright, so now that we've got Red Sun Soups out of the packaging, let's check out everything you get. Of course, we have our Red Sun Superman premium action figure. You get two additional fists, one that's slightly open, and then one that's closed, of course, for punching and stuff. I don't quite understand this because he doesn't have anything to grab, but I guess if you have your own guns or accessories, what's Superman going to use? He's going to use a gun? And I'm not getting it, so cause it's like it's a gun, but Superman has never used a gun, so I don't understand the purpose for this. I would have rather had them both be a closed fist, because Superman punches. I don't know what this is all about, so maybe you can hold a flag or something. I guess that'd be useful. And then you have your little nice DC stand. It has the logo on the bottom there, and this little nice closing clasp. You can display it one of two ways. We're putting his foot on the peg on the bottom here, or by putting this around his waist, and then he can look like he's flying or hovering in the air. And then you get this cool little Superman Red Sun kind of bio card doodad, which this is really neat. I wish there was a place to put this with the stand. And it says Superman Red Sun Comics #1, Kal-El, 6'3", 235 pounds. In an alternate reality, the rocket ship carrying the infant who would later be known as Superman, landed in the midst of the 1950s Soviet Union rather than Smallville, Kansas. Raised on a collective farm, the last survivor of Krypton grew up and now uses his incredible superpowers as a hero to the Soviet Union, fighting a never-ending battle for Stalin and changing the world drastically from what we know. So, I wish there was a way to put this in the stand. I don't really be able to display it. That'd be really cool. Maybe I can tape that there or something, I don't know. But I think that'd be nice. But I'm telling you, that's why this story is so cool, and more than some of the other, multiverse figures. I'm just so interested in this because that's just so far out there and so crazy, and one of the best Superman storylines ever, in my opinion. So now let's take a look at old Supes, nice and up close here. Let's get a better look at him. Nice and up close. There we go. And as you can see, there's a lot of great detail. The colors are a little bland, but I kind of like them because it's dark. It's kind of what you would imagine his suit to look like, and kind of like a bleak Soviet Russia. Like, you wouldn't have like the bright blue. It just looks more reserved. Kind of gives you an idea of the social climate, I guess. But the paintwork is good. I mean, there's not a whole huge amount of detail in this, surprisingly. I mean, the face is very, very different. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that. Very stern, very serious, very not fooling around. Definitely not the Superman we know. You have the nice molded cape, which kind of stays in position like that. You can turn him at the torso. It does not really turn too... Oh, there we go. It's just a tight turn. You can turn him at the waist. I didn't know if you could or not, actually, because that didn't feel like it was going to move. His head pivots and moves, of course. These have some really nice locking joints, so I will give it credit for that. But unlike other more posable figures, like Motu Origins or something like that, like these, they'll actually stay in place. You can feel them individually lock, so you can really get some nice poses with that. And then you have the legs move up and down at the knees. You can probably hear that crunch. And then at the toes, ankles, and even the toes, I believe. Wow, really, that is crazy that you can actually move the toes around. Holy crap, that is crazy. So if you want to make Superman break his foot, you can have Superman break his foot. That's silly. But neat. I guess it's more so he can stand on a tippy toe, but kind of crazy when you think about it. You can have Superman look like he busted his foot. He is a little back-weighted because of that cape, I gotta say. So if you're trying to get him to stand regularly, it can be a little bit of a challenge. Like I said, here's the two additional fists, which these you can just pop on and off. The paint quality, I think, is a little poor. It just looks like it's a little transparent. Doesn't look like it's laid on quite thick enough. And the way that it's cut around the wrist, I mean, you don't notice it when it's like that, but when you look at it from the side, it looks a little weird. And so you only get one different hand for each arm, which I do like in a way. And there he is. He's now peg leg, peg arm Superman. But then I kind of hate these extra hands and stuff because where are you going to put them? You're going to end up losing them. So it's like, just make the figure without all this other nonsense, and then you don't have to, like, where am I going to store these hands now? It's just, it's a hassle. So there we go. I do like this. I like the punching one. I think I'm going to leave that one on. But then the other one where he's like flying into the sky, I guess that one's kind of it. Let's see how that looks, because I don't really like this one with the closed hand. I think this is a good pose. That way he's ready, up, up, and away. And then you can still put him in like a punching pose. And I think that's really good. I think those are the two fists that he should have primarily came with, and then these other ones make more sense. So I guess we have to assume that Superman is a southpaw. Is that a fact? I'm not sure if I know that or not. So, but pretty cool, pretty cool. Very nice. The waist is a little odd when you look at that. I mean, you look at that like head on, look at how much more... That's not even symmetrical. How is that even possible? Like, his bones are sticking out farther than his body, so that's a... They totally should have streamlined it. That just looks bizarre. It doesn't look bad. I still think this is overall a really cool figure, and I'm still very, very glad that I got it. Like I said, you do have this stand, which you just put together. It's just 2 pieces, so it's just this little guy here that just kind of snaps into the bottom, which I won't take apart because it's already locked. But you can either put him in there like this, with a little peg. Oh, let me see if I actually can remove that, because it looks like that's going to get in the way. Oh, that seems to be stuck. But anyway, you have these little pegs on the bottom, and so you can either kind of just display them like that, and remove that other stand. And that way you could just have them standing like that. Which is nice if you just want him standing just kind of regular. Or you can have him... See how easy he is to get off this peg without breaking the darn thing. And you can open this up, and you can just put it around his waist. Which I think this is much better. I don't know how stable this is. And then you can put him in all different types of positions and poses. So that way it looks like he's flying. Oop. Didn't realize he'd be sitting up quite that high. There we go. And yeah, so that's kind of cool. You know, you can change him to all different types of poses. So it looks like, you know, he's flying through the air or what have you. And so I definitely think that that is cool, that stand, that you can put them in all these different types of action poses. And they're nice. I really think you should see more figures with them. So overall, this is a really good figure. If I had to give this a rating, I think I would give it probably a B+. I definitely think that there's some room for improvement with a little bit better paint detail, a little bit better sculpt detail around the hands. And just fix the whole thing with the waist. I guess I kind of get it. Maybe that's because the stand has to support it, but there should be a better way to do that, and then have a better way of, like, you know, this should be like a little card, like right in front. I'm like, how cool would that look? Like, just put a little slot there. That's all you gotta do. Like right in the back, and that way you can have, you know, kind of like a bio card for this, and that would look really, really nice. But overall, like I said, this is a really cool figure, so if you're into this kind of thing with the DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys figures, they're, you know, in that whole NECA realm of your premium figure. I totally recommend picking them up. I mean, a lot of them aren't for me, but, you know, maybe like, you know, the Batman Who Laughs or other ones like that are kind of up your alley, so definitely pick them up when you see them. They're definitely a new breed, they're cool to collect, they're cheap, and they're fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at this cool McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Red Sun Superman, and I will see you guys back here next time.
Hey guys, if you liked the video that you just watched, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and you can follow me at Facebook at King of Retro or Twitter at #8ByteBrian. See you next time.